the average buyer, someone who's bought a house before, or maybe even owns a few rental houses, probably isn't prepared to go through a foreclosure purchase unless they've spent some time, understand what they're doing, because it's very different than your standard escrow. I think one of the examples that hit home with a lot of people that they were surprised about is sometimes when you go to a foreclosure auction, what foreclosure means is someone's collecting on their lien. They've got a lien on this piece of property, so they go through the process to say, okay, you didn't pay your debt, now I'm going to take the property back. But it's not always the first lien, and that's the most important issue, because when you foreclose a lien, it's literally think of a chalkboard and someone writes first lien on top. Anybody who took a lien after that is under them. We call that a subordinate lien, or a second or third. And a few first-time foreclosure buyers have gotten all excited because they come in and they say, I'm going to buy this $500,000 house for $25,000 or $50,000. Woohoo, look at me, I'm great. And then a couple of months later, they've got a deed, it looks great, they think they own it, but what they don't realize is that they were already under a couple of other lien holders, so only the people below them got erased, and this property that they owned still owes the money on that first or second mortgage, which isn't the right technical term, but everybody says mortgages out here, and so they've actually bought a debt. They've purchased the right to pay more than the property is worth. And so that's sort of a tragic story that first-time investors really need to understand what's being foreclosed. They're going to have to go out themselves and try to get some title information. Even if it means going to the county and looking up these records and just understanding what it is. And there's always back taxes and construction liens. And so it's very different because you don't get that all-important title insurance. When you and I buy a house from a title company, they do all that work. They make sure there aren't liens and that this is really the right owner to buy the house from. And if it turns out they're wrong, that's what you're buying the insurance for. They have to deal with it. But when you're a foreclosure buyer, you don't get any of that. You're on your own. You get the title as it is, and that can mean subject to other liens. Invest some time, invest some serious time. Go watch this auction. Understand, if you can, what people are saying. They're going to be reading a mile a minute because they're just trying to get through the legalese in this script. But they'll say things in there that are important in terms of if there's taxes due on the property, what's going on the property. I wouldn't ever go to an auction unless you had observed 2 or 3 of them ahead of time and you really know which houses are which, because it's like a grab bag at a department store. Mm-hmm. You know what you're paying, but you don't really know what's inside until you open it up.